Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here. This is an important show. Here's the thing. There is a problem that's come up with the President of the United States. There's a Russian phone call, not Russian, excuse me, Ukraine phone call. Here's the thing, guys. There's been a lot of other times they wanted to impeach. For a while now, they've wanted to impeach the president. They didn't really have much. This time, this looks to me to be kind of a lot. Now it takes 2 or 3 months. Generally, if they rush it through, they can get through even quicker. But it can take 2 or 3 months to actually go through an impeachment process. It's a rather slow process. It can take as long. I think there was one case of it taking 8 months, but it does get done. And the thing is that's the process. They're starting the process. It's a long, drawn-out process. But this is really, to me, last night studying this morning I was studying this, and its implications for Bitcoin are absolutely astounding. Guys, astounding. So I'm changing my price prediction, and I'm going to get into more details why. My end-of-year price prediction. I'm going to get into more details why as I further advance into this show a little bit. I'm going to try to lay out the details for you why I'm advancing my price prediction. I had a price prediction. Well, it wasn't really a prediction. It was what the price that I was looking for Bitcoin to be at the end of this year was $16,000. I'm doubling it to $32,000 by the end of this year. And the reason why is because as follows. I think that this very well could proceed. This impeachment process could very well proceed for the next several months until it concludes. And we could be looking at a whole different ballpark with the world's financial system. The world's financial system is ready to melt down right now. I mean, they're having to eject huge amounts of money. Trump has said, we've all heard him say it, that if anything, if I don't get elected, the financial system's going to fall to pieces. So, we have to take this into consideration. I had a speaker come on and I didn't know about. I turned it off a second ago. You guys probably heard it in the background. I had to turn it off. Anyway, let's get back to the situation involved here. Trump has said that if anything happens to him, because let's face it, a lot of this big economic recovery that we've seen, where the stock markets went up and up and up, is due to a lot of policies that come from Trump. But it's led to a debt expansion that's unprecedented. We're in unprecedented, uncharted waters right now. And honest to goodness, the stock market's been pumped up on corporate debt. It's unbelievable, absolutely. And an awful lot of pension funds and stuff have bought into this triple B rated corporate debt. And if they downgrade that corporate debt, then pension funds and stuff have to dump the downgraded debt. And if there's no buyers available, and it's the same thing in an awful lot of different facets of the marketplace. It's like this. It's ready to roll over. It's ready to collapse. Now, this would be a huge shock if in the next 2 months they proceed with these investigations, and if these allegations prove not to be foundless, this is serious stuff we're talking about here. Very serious. Along with the Brexit coming, and I don't really see a way out of that, a hard Brexit. We got Germany rolling over into recession, and we've got these internal problems in the financial system related to debt. which could lead to a massive chaos and a massive panic out of paper assets. Now, the first place, they're getting nervous. The first nervous investors are running into silver and gold. And we see the price of silver and gold. What's happening with it? How it's shooting up. I expect this to continue, and I expect them to continue to run into the dollar and into treasuries like they have been, producing these huge bubbles. Expect it to continue. But here's the thing. When they get really frightened, now, you know, I told you guys they were going to run into gold, silver, and the dollar quite a while ago on my shows, if not on here, on Financial Turmoil Explained. And now it's happening. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do next. They're going to want not the paper gold and silver. They're going to want physical. This is the next thing that's going to come. And when they really get frightened, what we're going to see is a huge pickup, a huge increase of allocating real physical metals. And I'll tell you what I'm expecting. Quite literally, it might shock you guys, but I'm expecting the silver market to have a shortage in the 1,000-ounce bars, which is what they use to make all of your coins and whatever you buy. I'm expecting a silver shortage. And that's only going to intensify the rush into silver and into gold. If they can't get the silver, and there's no supply, and there's failures to deliver left, right, and center, I mean, every coin store be out of silver. It can be stripped. I'm telling you guys how quick everything can be stripped bare. They're going to run then into gold. They can quite literally strip the gold owls bare in no time. And it can be almost unobtainable for gold or silver. But there's still mountains of money out there. So they bought up all the gold and silver. If you can picture this situation, they've basically bought up all the physical gold and silver. And the people that have it, big vault. I know there's big vaults. I know central banks have it. I know there's huge vaults full of the stuff. But in this kind of a situation, all these vaults that are full of silver and gold and everything, that's not for sale. And your coin stores are empty. And there's none to be had. When that time comes, there's still going to be a lot of money that wants to move out of paper and try to find safety in this financial storm that's coming. And guess what, guys? Where do you think they're going to go when they can't get any more physical product in precious metals? Where do you think they're going to go? And I think that when that happens, we're going to see Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies relatively low in price. This little time that we have right now when the price is being reduced, it's almost like a sale, a fire sale. This might actually continue for a while longer, and the price might actually go a bit lower while we're moving into this massive chaotic period. And while gold and silver is getting stripped off the shelves and going up in price like crazy, they might still be dumping crypto. But at a certain point, when we get the real craziness come to the financial system, and what I mean by that is you go to your coin store and there's no gold or silver left, it's just been cleaned. They might even put a sign on the door, we're closed for business, we don't have any product to sell you. Or if you do go inside, they might put you on back order. In other words, you order 100 eagles, and they take your money and they make you wait 8 weeks, 10 weeks. During that period in time, people are going to be piling into crypto. And all of a sudden, the crypto is going to change its direction and it's going to go up. And it's going to start receiving the money after you can't get any more gold and silver. It's going to start receiving the money. Then the money's going to start flowing into it. And that's when the big money, I think, is going to start to be released. Catherine Austin Fitts has talked about $21 trillion that they've created. They just created another over $400 billion, and they're creating like $75 billion every single day of new, fresh printed money. Not to count all the money that they've stowed away from the last economic crisis. It's just piles of it out there. And what about all the money that was just soaked into the U.S. Treasury bonds? What if that starts to come out? There's all the money we need for a hyperinflation. It's already been created, guys. But it hasn't searched for a real, tangible place to go where it becomes real. In other words, the way I see all this money they've created out there, it's not real. It's not real until it buys something. And what's it going to buy? Think about it, guys. It can't go out chasing things like a haircut or a bag full of groceries. It's far too much money for that. It has to stay within the financial system and is limited to where it can go other than into the U.S. dollar. And if it is the U.S. dollar that they're holding, they can't buy dollars with it. And a bit of it can go into the stock. We're talking about so much huge amounts of money here. If it all starts to pour in to precious metals and cryptocurrencies, I can't imagine how high it'll drive them up. And that is only going to lower the value because every time the gold goes up, the dollar goes down because you can purchase less gold with it. This is why they manipulated the price of gold and silver for all those years. And this is why I'm changing from 16,000 to 32,000 by the year-end Bitcoin target price. I think it's going to happen suddenly. I don't think we're going to get to the end of this year before the whole system collapses. Now at this point, I see things happening too quick. I can't keep up. Last night, I mean, I've had a bad situation here a little bit. My car broke. So, stuck at home, running out of food, running out of water. It's too long of a walk to go to the grocery store, and I got no car. And my car, that black car GM car has been more of a nuisance to me. They used to make good cars. But now, I can't even put anything in my trunk. I come out of a store or whatever, and my trunk lid's popped open. And you can't put a key in the trunk lid, Now it's something to do with the throttle body and the computerized ignition or whatever, and the car's going into low power mode, and you can't even figure out what kind of a short it is or whatever, It's just, and the car won't run, and it's just sitting in the shop, and so I don't know. I'll tell you what I did do. I went on eBay, and they got these kits come from China, a little 66cc motorcycle engine, little tiny motorcycle, only as big. They're cute little things, right? And they're a kit that goes on your bicycle. And it got a little chain on it and everything. It turns your bicycle into a little tiny motorcycle. It's a kit. And they're only cheap. They're only like $129 for the whole kit. Everything you need to transform your bicycle into a tiny motorcycle. It'll go 40 miles an hour. And it'll give 150 miles to the gallon. Can you imagine? I'm going to tell you guys, if you got a little motor on your bicycle, you can get there pretty darn fast. I wish I had it with me right now. I'd be down to the grocery store. So I ordered a bike too, because I don't have a bike. I ordered like a beach cruiser bike or whatever with a nice basket on the front and everything, And I got this motorcycle kit, coming in the mail from China. A little two-stroke engine, gasoline. I got a little tank, little gas tank, little half-gallon size gas tank. Can you imagine? You only put a quart of gas in it, and you can drive it all day long, 40 miles an hour. The thing will buzz right along. I'm going to tell you, I've been on a bike before at 40 miles an hour. When I was 16 years old, what I used to do is there's this giant mountain. I used to get up at the top of the mountain with my bicycle and go down the mountain. It was crazy. I must have been insane when I was like 16 to go down that mountain on 10 speed. And I'm going to tell you, because there's hairpin turns on that coming down that road, and it's like a 45-degree angle coming down off that mountain. It's like a 1,500-foot high mountain, you know. And by the time I could halfway down that mountain, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't see my eyes because of the air hitting me in the eyes, you know, from the speed. So my dad timed me one day, coming down the mountain with his car. 45 miles an hour I was going on 10 speed down that mountain. And I'm going to tell you, this little kit, you know, will take you up to 40 miles an hour. I won't run it that fast. That's just dangerous, you know. But 25 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour is fine. And you get there awful fast. You'd be amazed at 25 miles an hour. You'd be amazed how quick you can get someplace. Quite seriously, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front wheel off of this bike. I'm going to put it all together and everything. I'm going to take the front wheel off to make it a little bit shorter. I'm going to cram it in the back seat of my car, and I'm going to take it everywhere with me. Because if that stupid car breaks again or leaves me on the side of the road or whatever, I'm not going to have to walk home. I'm going to just put the front wheel on my bicycle and I'll drive home on my bike, and the heck with the darn car. And the thing about the bike, you know, so easy to fix. It doesn't have all these computerized gizmos on it or anything. All it is just simply an engine, throttle control, you know, and it's great. It's great. I like stuff like that. Why can't we go back to making cars like that? Why do we have to have all this crap on our cars? Why can't we have crank down windows on our cars? No more power door locks. The old style door lock that you could put a coat hanger wire down and pull up. You know what I'm talking about? The old style bench seats. This is what I want on the cars now. I want bench seats. I don't want any more of these bucket seats. I'm tired of bucket seats. I want bench seats. That way, if you're going to town, right, guys? You know what I'm talking about. You go into town, there's an extra person that wants to ride along with you. You can squeeze them into the center of the seat. Or you can kiss your girlfriend and stuff. These new seats they got now, this is fit for garbage. Side door airbag, impact beams, and all this airbags and stuff. That's all got to go. And just have one seat belt now. No more shoulder belts. Just one seat belt that goes across your middle. That's enough. And no mandatory seat belts anymore. If it's our lives, if we want to fly through the windshield, then that's fine. But this is the thing. Now they're even putting in rear things that when you back up so that you don't hit anything, you know, different kinds of things. Self-parking cars. We don't need a car that parallel parks itself. We don't need this stuff anymore. We need to go back instead of forwards on some of these things. And we, the people, we need to tell the car companies, if you make the car like you're making it now, full of doodads, and you keep adding more doodads, next thing you know, they'll be adding a vacuum cleaner to the car built in and stuff. And they'll probably connect it to the engine, so if the car's vacuum cleaner isn't working, the engine don't work. And then they'll connect the vacuum cleaner to the internet, so if the internet's down, the car won't start. I mean, this goes on and on and on. You know, I mean, with these new jets and stuff. It's like we got the old... I'm not even going to go there. Listen, thank you guys for listening. I'm starting to ramble a little bit. But we need to get back to simplicity. Bye-bye, guys.